Hey everyone, so first of all, if you haven't already, go see my life path and prologue explained videos so that you have all of that information going into this video. I'll be taking my time to explain my thoughts on each life path and how much I think I will be liking each life path prologue from a 1 to 10 in terms of how interested I am in each of them. I'll start with Street Kid, then Nomad, and finally Corpo as last. Feel free to share your thoughts on what I think as well as who you plan to or think you will choose for your first playthrough. Enough rambling, let's start. Street Kid, from what we have learned, is very similar to Nomad. How? Because both value loyalty between their own. Street Kids just tend to be a lot more, shall we say, flexible with this loyalty to even at times straight up betrayal. But to quote, loyalty among thieves would probably be the best way to explain this. They seem to value loyalty amongst themselves when confronted with an outside element, faction, gang, etc., and in some other cases. But when they don't have a common cause, they do their own. In a way, they are similar in that aspect to the Corpo path, but nowhere near the level of the distrust. I see being a Street Kid as the safe or standard life path choice. It lets you be raised as someone who has and probably will be betrayed by your own, giving you reason not to completely trust anyone. But it also gives you the unity from a group to feel like you have a place to belong. Plus, you are also from the city, unlike the Nomads, so that is also a given plus. From a gameplay perspective, I imagine the Street Kid playthrough as being the easiest, for these very reasons. Of course, any of these playthroughs can be hard based on difficulty and choice, but Street Kid gives you the safest way to play. As far as ratings go for my interests, 5 being average between 1 and 10, I would say a 7. It would definitely be second choice from what we have seen, and I know as of this moment. Nomads are extremely loyalty bound, family bound, and in real life this is something that I always had a hard time with achieving growing up. So naturally when I see it, I cringe somewhat. I don't really understand how people can be that way. Luckily, I have a best friend that is irreplaceable. My family ties are close again with those that matter, but the damage was done. As I said, I have a really hard time grasping this and believing in it. So naturally, while one part of me deep down wanted this loyalty/family bound ideology, I just don't trust it or believe it is possible, and naturally, this means that Nomads, from what I have seen, are the least interesting to me. From a gameplay perspective, this adds the element of being an outcast in an unfamiliar or at the very least unwelcoming place to your kind, and from what I have seen, it may also be possible that this is the only life path you didn't actually know Jackie growing up, rather you meet him along the way. I also picture this being harder than the Street Kid playthrough because of being an outcast. I can't imagine what benefits you would get while being in the city as a Nomad, unless maybe you can connect better with those that both the Corpo and Street Kids wouldn't. So let's say that in the end, Nomads are the way to go if you want to roleplay having the highest loyalty and trust in your own, while not trusting Street Kids and hating Corpos. I'm interested in the Nomads on a scale of 3.5 out of 10. Lastly, we have the Corpo. As you probably would have guessed by now, and from the polls that you had guessed, you would be correct in assuming I am the most interested in the Corpo life path for multiple reasons. One being it is the one I can relate to the most in terms of one simple thing: trusting no one and believing everyone is or can not only be out to get you, but be lying to you, because that is what people do and have done. I relate to this on an extreme level because this is how I grew up, being lied to, lying as a kid up until almost turning 18, and having no one I felt I could trust. As I said earlier, I do have a very limited amount of people I trust, but even so, I still feel the paranoia that at any time I could be betrayed, I already have been betrayed, and so much more. I think choosing them will give you bonuses when purchasing or selling loot, convincing or lying to people, and also give you connections to other people possibly higher up that you couldn't get in the other two life paths. But I also believe that this would be the hardest playthrough, as I believe you will be encountering way more other elements, people, etc. than you would be encountering Corpos. And remember, not even the Corpos are your friend. I rate this interest rate as a 10 out of 10 bias score, which is the reason I, plan on playing this prologue last. As I mentioned before, the day this game comes out, I will be playing all 3 life paths in the same day. Each part will be separated into their own higher quality 4K uploads the day or 2 after, alongside the 20 to 30 minute part 1 4K upload. This time may also need to be extended depending on how long each of the prologues are, because at 4K, the processing time for a 20-minute video is literally all day, so this could take some time. Of course, remember guys, this is just my opinion and thoughts on each, and these very well could change or be altered based on your choices in each of the life path prologues, the people you meet in them, and how they and you react to each other. From what I have seen, you definitely should see things differently from each life path, and assuming you can separate your feelings per playthrough and act only on what your character sees, it has potential to have replayability in my own style up to 3 times. The first time being most probably the Corpo, and the other 2 life paths, well, probably being Street Kid, then Nomad, but I might switch it up and do Nomad, then Street Kid if I do indeed feel like there's a need to replay through each different, well, life path. But of course, based on when the game releases and when I play it, I may change which I play first, and my opinions may also change as well. With that, guys, I'm going to be ending the video here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, think about joining my Patreon, becoming a Patreon member, or check out my merch store to help further support me and what I do. Think about joining my Discord in the link below, so that you could be a part of the STTG community, and then chat with me in between streams and, well, video releases. As always, guys, I'll catch you guys in my next stream or video release. You guys have a nice day.